Hey everyone, I'm Mariana, and I finally got the chance to watch Jojo Rabbit, the film I think only Taika Waititi could have pulled off in 2019, and the film that doesn't seem to be getting as much attention as it deserves. I know I'm a little late to the reviewing party with this one, but the release has been kind of strange. It first opened in a few theaters, then it kind of expanded, which is how I was able to see it, but it's still far from everywhere. However, it looks like it's going to be getting a full release on November 8th, at least in the US. So if you haven't been able to see it, you will get the chance to watch it in theaters, and I really think you should. Let's talk about Jojo Rabbit. The story centers around a 10-year-old boy, Jojo, who is a part of the Hitler Youth and whose imaginary friend is a very supportive version of Adolf Hitler. But things get even more complicated when he realizes his mother is hiding a Jewish girl in their house. If after watching the trailers and hearing what the film is about, you are feeling a little bit skeptical about the whole thing, I don't blame you. I was skeptical too, but I loved it. This film is a satire and a black comedy, and honestly, it sounds like it would not work, but somehow it does. The amazing thing about Jojo Rabbit is that it is simultaneously funny and sad. On one hand, it's wildly entertaining and so many parts had me laughing out loud, but then it would turn around and just punch you in the gut or show the grim reality of the time. Not to mention how sad and messed up is this idea of a 10-year-old being raised to hate. The fact that Taika Waititi is able to maintain this balance and this duality so perfectly is incredible. There are so many films out there that approach the topic of World War II, Nazi Germany, and the Holocaust, but Jojo Rabbit somehow manages to feel fresh and unique. Even the visual style and the color palette of this movie are unusual. I don't know about you, but I just don't expect a film about Nazi Germany to look vibrant and rich and often even warm. And this isn't to say that this film makes it look like a nice, inviting place. There's never a moment when you forget that things are actually awful. But it's just a gorgeously colorful film. Now, if you've ever seen a Taika Waititi film before, you pretty much know if you are into his kind of humor or not. I happen to be completely on board with his sense of humor, and The Hunt for the Wilder People, which I feel like more people need to watch, is one of my favorite comedies, so it's really no surprise that almost every joke landed for me. But I was still a bit apprehensive going in just because of how weird this whole premise sounds, and I am so happy that Taika Waititi was able to pull this off. The cast is fantastic. We have Roman Griffin Davis as Jojo. I don't think he's been in anything before this, and he is great as the lead character. His friend, played by Archie Yates, who also seems to be new to the industry, is absolutely adorable. The friendship of these two characters is definitely one of the highlights of the film. We also have Thomasin McKenzie, who you may remember from Leave No Trace. She plays Elsa, the Jewish girl who's living in the house, and she is really good too. Taika Waititi playing a child's imagination version of Hitler is just hysterical. I really can't imagine anyone doing a better job with this. Scarlett Johansson plays Jojo's mom, and she was probably my favorite character of them all. She is funny, she's clever, she has a very warm presence, she's trying her best in this situation, but she's also a bit conflicted because she sees her 10-year-old slowly turning into a fanatic, so she isn't so sure where to go from here. And Scarlett Johansson plays all of this beautifully. It's a very fitting character for her, and this is easily one of her best roles. Sam Rockwell plays the captain of a Hitler youth camp, and he's someone I could have used more of. Him and Alfie Allen, aka Theon Greyjoy from Game of Thrones, definitely deserved more screen time, especially since Sam Rockwell's character is actually quite interesting and not a character you see often in films about this time period. Honestly, my least favorite part of all this was Rebel Wilson's character. Not that I have anything against Rebel Wilson, and I have not seen every single one of her films, But out of the ones that I have seen, she pretty much plays the same character in every single one, kind of over the top with the same type of jokes, and that just did not work for me here. Comedy is a very personal thing, of course, and I know a lot of people are loving her in this, but the character just was not for me. Overall though, Jojo Rabbit is wonderful. I had such an amazing time watching it. It had me laughing, it had me tearing up, I cared about the characters, I was invested in the story, I was never bored. I would easily recommend this film to everybody. I really do believe that most people would enjoy it. I know there is a bit of a discussion going on about whether or not it's appropriate to joke about this topic, and I do understand why someone might think that this is inappropriate in concept. However, the way this film is done is exactly how you should approach a comedy that revolves around this subject. Plus, can you imagine how upset Hitler would have been if he knew he was being made into a joke? This is great. I'm going to give Jojo Rabbit a 9 out of 10. Definitely one of my favorites of the year and one of the biggest surprises of the year for me. I just did not expect to love it as much as I did. Really entertaining, surprisingly emotional, very rewatchable, and absolutely worth seeing in theaters, on the big screen, with a crowd. It's a great time. And that's it for this review. Let me know what you guys thought of this film if you've seen it already. And if you haven't seen it, I hope you're planning to. I know there are a lot of exciting movies coming out right now and within the next couple months, but I think this one is very much worth making time for. So let me know if you're planning to see it. If you haven't, if you have, would love to talk to you in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!